Hey now guys, what is happening? I was just reviewing. I already finished volume 13 Hulk Crossroads a couple hours ago, but I had to go back and look at it again because there were some things that I felt were rather confusing. Great book, by the way. Oh my god, this is by far the best volume that I've read up to now, even including the first 9, which of course were different eras with different writers and people and whatnot. But I'm so excited to see what happens next. Just in a nutshell, before I get into the specifics, Crossroads starts off very well. It has a very good beginning and middle. The ending is a little nebulous. Maybe I'm just dense sometimes because I read out loud, so I it's hard for me to read what I'm reading sometimes, but also processing what's going on, because sometimes I have to repeat the dialogue over and over, like a lot of the panels, because it doesn't sink in right away. So, but I got the gist of it. I mean, I understand what it's about. And what is it about? So from Incredible Hulk 297 through 313 and annual number 13 of the Incredible Hulk annual 13, we are, and this is over a year period, excuse me, a year's worth of publishing, and some months, some change in months, where I'm just going to put this down. This is Crossroads, by the way, volume 13, Hulk is involved in this brief storyline. This is like 297 through 300, 297 to 299, but I also included 300 as like a 4-part storyline, because it was the result. The result of 297, 8, 9 is what happens in 300. So the first 3 issues has the Incredible Hulk going up against Nightmare. Nightmare, for those of you who don't know, is the Lord of the Dark Dimension, and he's also the arch nemesis of Doctor Strange. And Nightmare uses the Hulk to destroy Doctor Strange because Nightmare is too much of a pussy to do his own battles. I don't know. But he goes after Banner through his dreams, his nightmares, and is able to convince Banner to become the Hulk, and the Hulk to find and kill Doctor Strange. Finally, Banner, so up to like 299, Banner decides that he cannot live anymore with, there's a lot of undertones and even just flat out in your face descriptions of suicide. Like Banner wants to kill himself. Banner does not want to live he doesn't want to live as the Hulk. He doesn't want to live with the Hulk. There's now this sense that there's a world inside their minds. So when he becomes Hulk, Banner's now trapped in Hulk's head and curled up in a ball, and there's just nothing he can do about it. There's nothing he can do to stop the Hulk, unless he falls asleep and turns back into Banner. Also, the other way around. So Banner decides, now I'm just gonna kill myself. And I hope I don't think I'm big enough yet for YouTube to ban my words or bleep me, but let's just talk like real people, okay? So Banner decides that he wants to kill himself and commit suicide. Turns out later he doesn't do it. It doesn't work. He's just further down in the deep recesses of the Hulk's mind. But supposedly Banner is now dead. I know, I love using air quotes. And now Hulk is completely bestial. This is the start of the Savage Hulk. For those of you who don't know, Savage Hulk is just an relentless animal beast. He's even worse than original Hulk that just says Hulk smash and Hulk hates puny humans. Savage Hulk is worse than that. He's just a wrecking machine, a juggernaut, an engine of destruction. And he doesn't communicate. He doesn't talk. He just destroys. That's his thing. So with 300, not every, but most of the Marvel superheroes, Daredevil, Spider-Man, the Avengers, Power Man and Iron Fist, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch of the Fantastic Four. He's the only one that joins in. Like they all try to stop the Hulk, the Hulk's rampage, and they just can't because he's an animal. He's a fiend. So Doctor Strange comes up with a plan to exile and banish the Hulk. Not in limbo. It's a limbo-esque place, but it's just a place where he hopes Hulk will find happiness. It's rather sweet and endearing and very sad. Like it's very, very, it's awful because the Hulk was Doctor Strange's teammate in the Defenders. So Doctor Strange has to do this for the sake of the Hulk as well as the planet Earth. And he banishes Hulk to the CROSSROADS, which is the title of this book. And Hulk is now like a lobotomized child. Can't speak, can't do anything, just fights and destroys. There's no food, there's no water, there's no companionship, nothing. But he does find this organism called the Puffball Collective, which acts like his friend. It's a very annoying creation. Like it's like just puffballs, and it can form into shapes and images and whatever. But it's just puffballs. Yeah, really, really, really good name for a character. Blame Bill Mantlo. Well, Bill Mantlow's passed away, unfortunately. By the way, this was all written by Bill Mantlo, and predominantly, if not all of them, were drawn by Sal Buscema, with some help from some people. But yeah, it's mainly Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema, who also worked together on ROM and other titles. So Hulk's not entirely alone. He ventures through, and this is like from 301 to the very end, to 312, 313, and even the annual 13. The annual 13 takes place between 301 and 302. Hulk just pretty much goes to different worlds, meets different creatures, fights familiar foes. He fights the UFOs at one point, like 303 and 304. He fights, who was he fight? Oh, he fights Zeron the Star Slayer, and Klaatu, and for those of you who don't remember, back in like Hulk 135 or 6 or 7, like 1970, we're talking about like volume 3 or 4. He fought Zeron the Star Slayer, to find Klaatu and the energy harpoons. Well, anyway, those dumbasses come back in 306, 307. But this is now Bill Mantlow's take on the Moby Dick, the Herman Melville novel Moby Dick. And of course, Zeron is acting like Captain Ahab, or maybe Captain Cybor is one of them, or both of them are the Ahab character. And they use the Hulk to find Klaatu being the Moby Dick character, or the illusion, I should say, to Moby Dick. And then there's this whole exchange with the Puffball Collective, because the Puffball Collective can't go into the portals. They can only stay within the CROSSROADS itself for all eternity. But they finally get the Puffball Collective through. Hulk's throwing a tantrum because those are his only friends. But then it turns out that the Puffball Collective are pieces of shit, and they betray the Hulk because Hulk just can't have friends. Hulk just surrounds himself with betrayers and liars and, Judases. So the Puffball Collective apparently, and this actually brings up the Nagari demons. It's the demon that Kitty Pryde fought in 143 of Uncanny X-Men. That awesome story. And also like 95 or 6, like very early in the 70s, before Kitty joined the team. So now the Nagari have taken over the Puffball Collective universe. They've eaten the good people. So apparently the Puffball Collective, the ones that are with Hulk, are bad. They're bad guys who escaped. And I forget what it was. Like they just couldn't come back. There's like this eldritch magical chain that's tied up in their world, and they can't get in. So they use the Hulk to break the chain and get back into their universe. So then the Puffballs bring up all these Nagari demons to kill the Hulk, and then the Hulk fights them, and he escapes, and then he ties up the chain and leaves them stranded in their own universe, which I guess is what they wanted. But I guess the Nagari are going to eat the remaining puffballs, even the bad ones. So too bad. Oh well. And then right after, I think that's what 309 or 310. I forget already. But then we get the triad. Oh no, the triad came what 310? No, 309. So this happened in 308, where the Puffball Collective betray Hulk. 309, we are introduced to the triad, which includes Goblin, Guardian, and Glow. GGG. So Glow is a star, Goblin is a goblin, and Guardian is I thought it was a boy, but it was a girl, because in the description it said she. It described Guardian as a she, even though it looks like a boy. It doesn't have tits. It actually has like a manly chest. But as the issues wear on, like 310, 311, 312, Guardian's face looks more feminine. But I swear, I thought it was a dude. What's that? Low battery. Oh, shit. I'm running out of battery. Okay, never mind. I have 20%. I'm good. So the triad, it turns out by issue 312, and 312 is the story of how Bruce, the rage of the Hulk, came from Bruce's abusive childhood, which felt like one of those like special episodes on like a soap opera or an afternoon school special, like a social issue which was good, it just shows that Bruce was abused, and it might trigger readers of abuse, and it's very sad. It's very sad. And I mean, he's like 4 years old and he's getting like punched by his father, and it turns out Bruce's dad killed his mom. His mom's name is Rebecca. Bruce's dad is named Brian. I thought it was interesting because Xavier's dad is named Brian, who worked at Los Alamos. And they mention in this issue 312, which is also the cover to this. This is issue 312's cover, and they used that for this cover. Banner's dad is Brian Banner, who worked at Los Alamos. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. Like Brian Xavier also, or Alamogordo. I know, it's the same fucking thing. Anyway, I just thought that was pretty interesting. So we learn about Banner's abusive childhood, which explains why the Hulk's rage, which is where the Hulk's rage comes from, and why Banner gets very mad. And I didn't grow up in a very physically abusive home, but more mental and emotional kind of abuse. So again, I just relate so heavily to Bruce now, and I'm just so glad that Mantlo wrote it in such a clear, concise, and objective way. But he's very wordy too, like Mantlo. Geez, and the guy in real life, I looked up Bill Mantlo. Bill Mantlo was also a lawyer too, as well as a Marvel writer. For those of you who didn't know that, it's pretty cool. Look it up on Wikipedia. Bill Mantlo was also a lawyer. Also, Herb Trimpe was a cantor. He was also a priest. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. So that's where Hulk got his rage from his childhood. Oh, but so the triad, Goblin, Glow, and Guardian, are actually pieces of Banner's childhood. So when Bruce was a little kid, he had there was a star that when he was a baby, the mom put the star up. That's Glow. Guardian was a little doll that he had, and Goblin represented what his father turned. It's weird because they made like the father turn into a goblin, which I didn't understand that. I don't know if it was just like a dream sequence fantasy, which that would make more sense because there weren't any goblins. I don't know. Maybe I missed that part, but yeah, but I know that the goblin represented Bruce's rage. Guardian, what was Guardian? Oh God, I know. Glow was like the intellect. I don't know. Just read the fucking book, guys. That's my stock answer. Just if I don't know it right off the bat, guys, just read it and figure it out for yourselves. Even though I should have the answer for you. I'm spitting all over myself. Gross. So that's that. And then of course at that issue, they disappear. Like now, they've managed to help Bruce reclaim some of his intellect. He's now back to being Hulk, smash, me, hate, blah, blah, blah. He's not intelligent. So then, also in that same issue, 312, is a Secret Wars 2 tie-in, not a crossover, but a tie-in where the Beyonder intervenes and helps guide the Hulk back to Earth. Because in the next issue, Alpha Flight is looking to find Sasquatch, Walter Lankowski, a new body. And for whatever reason, again, that's why I took a moment before I started this video. I took a moment to look at the pages because I was like, I read this, but it didn't gel in my brain. Like, why, how, huh? You know. So apparently, so Sasquatch died. I don't know. I haven't read Alpha Flight. They haven't come out with an epic of Alpha Flight. None of you guys, I don't think, want it. I kind of do. But apparently he's dead, and Aurora was his lover. Jean-Marie Barbier. And Alpha Flight found the Hulk. They found a vessel for Lankowski. It's the Hulk at the Crossroads. And it's weird because Banner's forced out, and Lankowski is now inside Hulk's body. And then Lankowski sacrifices himself and is like, thank you, Bruce, for showing me how to be a hero. And then he goes, and then Banner is back in. Again, Banner talks more about suicide. Oh, I want to kill myself. I just want to let myself go. And then there was one point where he found like this Scottish guy, Dr. Desist from like the 1700s, who is he's trying to get blood, like to be immortal. Was that 309? Maybe it was 309 or 310. I forget which issue. There's so much, guys. I read like 6, 7, 8 issues a day. I forget the details, but that happened too. It were really bizarre stories. At one point, he saves this woman from being sacrificed, like an alien chick from being sacrificed. The same issue with this guy. I'm all over the place. But so now Hulk can communicate. Hulk, the Triad is gone. The Beyonder now manages to intervene and have the Alpha Flight pull Hulk back out of the Crossroads and back to Earth. And that's 313, which also crosses over into Alpha Flight 29. And so that last 2-part storyline is the Hulk back to Earth, back to being communicative, not a savage Hulk, but he's brainless. He's still pretty stupid. Of course, he makes mincemeat out of Alpha Flight in Vancouver, but they let him go because it's like, we don't really need to beat the Hulk. We just wanted to prove that we can be a family. It was a dumb, and I see why Alpha Flight was such a lame title, but read it for yourselves, guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So now, guys, Hulk is back on Earth. I really have to say, this is 19 issues, and every issue was like a journey. Like, this is one huge, long, extended storyline, but it was cut up and dissected into different storylines, little mini sub-storylines. And we're taken on a journey from the time he's over here to over there. And it's all like in a span of a year. From 1984 to 1985, Hulk had a pretty fucking epic journey. And it's in an epic collection. All right, guys, before I wrap up, let me just get out the next book. Or before I wrap up, I am wrapping up. Before I conclude this video, you guys try this, okay? This is not easy to talk to a camera and try to be informative here. All right, the next book, guys, is going to be volume 14, Going Gray. We're going to get Gray Hulk. And look, he's fighting his own cousin, She-Hulk. I know very little about this. I know John Byrne is going to take over. John Byrne's going to take over for a few issues. Apparently, John Byrne, it didn't work out between Byrne and Marvel or whatever. So then Peter David takes over. I don't think he's in this one. No. Byrne, Milgrom, Geiger, and Buscema. So I think volume 15 is when, volume 15 is when Peter David is going to start his legendary run. And I cannot wait to read that because I love Peter David's, his writing. His writing is just incredible, especially on Hulk, X Factor, yada, yada. But yeah, Going Gray. We're going to have a little bit of John Byrne. I know Banner's going to marry Betty finally. That'll be like issue 319. This covers 314 to 330. So that's 17 issues right there, plus annuals 14 and 15 and Marvel Fanfare 29, right? 29? Yeah, 29. Interesting. Volume 13 had Alpha Flight 29 This has Marvel Fanfare 29, and I believe the next volume, 15, is going to have the Marvel Graphics number 29 of The Thing and the Hulk, The Big Change, which I already read when I read the Fantastic Four one. So it's like 29, 29, 29 in volumes 13, 14, and 15 of Hulk. Again, another strange but true facts. I just wanted to share that. So that's all. Yeah. That's material from Marvel Fanfare 29. That Hulk, what does that say? Strange changes for the Hulk. Yeah, gray. And then eventually he becomes Joe Fixit. That's later on. So yeah, we have like a little grouping here, a little small island of books. We have 13, 14, and 15. So one more volume, a consecutive volume after this one. And then we had to skip 3 more volumes and then jump right to 19, which sucks. 19, 20, 21, 22. We skipped 23 because they haven't released 23. And then we conclude the Hulk series with 24. So stay with me, guys. There's plenty more Hulk to read. I'm really loving it because I really identify with this dude. The Hulk, not Banner. Banner's a pussy. I like the Hulk. I like when Hulk gets mad because that's like me in New York, guys. And I'm trying so hard to be a peaceful guy, but it's so hard because people are such dicks and assholes. Men, women, white, black, Hispanic. I just hate gay, straight. I just hate people here in New York. But that's my problem, guys, not yours. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hey, give me a like if you like my honesty. I mean, I would. Or dislike, I don't give a shit. All right, guys, I'll see you in a couple of days with volume 14 of Going Gray. This was volume 13, Crossroads. Check it out, guys. Get it at your comic book store or get it online on eBay, Amazon, or cheapgraphicnovels.com. Get 40% off. I don't know why I'm promoting them because I'm not sponsored by them. But that's how I get my books, guys. All right, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.